I think something clicked today. I do. I think that the new grill, I'm proud owner of not a car, not a job, but a grill.
Happy Father's
thanks
Day.
to Alice Shattuck, and it's a good grill. It's the low-end Weber grill.
It's like the smallest Weber grill, yeah.
Weber, yeah.
Is it Weber?
I think we'll go with Weber.
Okay.
And I've only always gotten the crud grill before. I consulted my brother with this, and he's like, "You can't crap on the last for a few years." There's a difference. Using this grill compared to every other grill I've ever owned is a difference. I'm very pleased. It's only 2 burners, but I don't want a whole lot of workspace. I want just what's in front of me. And
you made enough food. Everybody was.
Yeah.
There's extra hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah. There's enough. I got the right side and the left side, and it's
for 7 people, so not nothing.
Yeah. And so I like the entire thing out there, and that's going to end up being a money saver in the end.
Yeah. So we went with smaller but better brand. Was our ultimate decision making. So we hemmed and hawed in the grill area outside the Home Depot for a while, and we ultimately decided not to get the like cheapy big one, but to go with a better brand that has like a 12-year warranty on it and all this stuff, and that people actually buy that brand of grill, and it's not like the.
Do you, by the way, did you get the feeling the same way that I was like? I felt like Circuit City a la 2004.
Oh, yeah. We definitely could have stolen that grill.
Oh, we could have stolen it. I would have been for stealing the better one. We should have just stolen it. Why not? But, Home Depot is going away. I'm pretty sure. It is not a functional place anymore. It's just not.
You have to have that much stuff all in a building and be paying all that for all that real estate, whether you're owning the land or you're paying rent for that much space, and then you're paying employees to be all in there all the time and like for their health care and all this stuff. Like it just it's
well, but the point is that the system wasn't working. Wasn't working at one point.
But it's not working specifically because it's too high cost. You can't employ enough people to staff a place that size.
None of the normal registers are open. Those are now gone. Those have gone dark. Those are now mothballed. They
had one person who was really checking people out, and then everything else was self-checkouts, and all the self-checkouts were stuck, and the person who was really checking people out was stuck and did not seem particularly urgently trying to find somebody to fix it. So she was hanging out waiting while the person she was attempting to check out waited. And then there were 3 people at self-checkouts who were also just standing there while they waited for somebody to come do something. We totally could have just loaded up the grill in our car and left.
Why don't we do this? What's the worst that's going to happen?
Because we're not thieves?
Bullshit. No. I can rationalize my mind around stealing a $600 grill. Give me a little time, Alice, and I could be absolutely fine with it. Absolutely. I just go to I just can go back to 2015 and that Home Depot that used to be near us in Saugus, and when we needed a pump because Melrose flooded.
Hope you're not looking for a pump.
Yeah. This is the guy who was too good. This guy was too good. I've said this before, but I'm looking for a pump because every house in Melrose flooded. And our house didn't usually flood, but our basement flooded. Everything flooded.
Everything in Melrose flooded in this storm.
So, yeah. Everything in Massachusetts. You guys remember the year if you're in Massachusetts. Everything just flooded. So, whatever. So, I went out to Home Depot, and I asked somebody, can you help me with the water pump? Sorry. He's like, aisle 18 down there. So, I go, aisle 18. Aisle 18 is not too much on the shelves, but there's this guy who's stocking the shelf in front of me. I'm waiting. I'm in his zone now, so he can feel that I'm there. And I'm looking around, and I'm waiting for him to acknowledge me. He just keeps on looking straight as I'm looking up. Like I'm looking at the tags on the shelves, but then there's nothing above it in the shelf. And I'm trying to think, like, okay, where's he goes? And he goes, hope you're not looking for water pumps. Never once looks at me while he says it. That's $600 right there, Alice, that I could have giped. I'm giping from that Home Depot. I'm sorry. If you have fair warning, Seabrook, New Hampshire. I'm coming, and I'm giping something big. I'm getting mine, Alice. This guy's getting his for once. If everybody else can do everything, I can't throw a brick through a Jewish deli in Brookline, Alice, and get away with it.
No.
Everybody else can do all these things. I'm doing a heel turn. I want to loot stuff. Well, how come everybody else can loot stuff?
We're not looters.
I have looted relatively a whole lot less than half of the south side of Chicago seems to have done in the last 5 years.
No, we're not looters.
I am a looter. I'm not above this.
Nope.
I mean, I could almost, what are they going to do? Was the cops going to come and arrest me when they fat 52-year-old attempted to steal a grill as he's rolling it across the parking lot? Jail would be good for me. I have to lose 100 pounds, Alice, in 5 weeks before we see everybody, by the way.
Yes. So let's talk about this because I did post this in the Patreon this weekend. And this is coming up July 19th, rain date July 20th. The very generous Julie and Phil are hosting. Trish and Tommy in New Hampshire from the chat are also helping organize this. It's a get-together for Burn Barrel people because it's at Julie and Phil's home. The space is limited, so we are asking for advance RSVPs. The cost to help cover the cost of food is $10 per couple or family.
It's BYOB. It's a good time. It'll be a fun
person.
time.
Like, whatever your unit is that you're bringing, that's $10 for your group. And yeah, it'll be a great time. They have a pool. Bring your kids. Come. We're bringing our kids. We're all going to be there. We wanted to, do something because the inauguration party was such a great time. And, Julie and Phil and Trish and Tommy have put this together, and it's really awesome.
This is Phil's brainchild.
It's going to be really, really great. So there's all details. It's posted in the Patreon, but if you want details, start by emailing burnbarrelpodcast@gmail.com and we'll kind of we'll forward you to Phil to get you the information.
And I am going to tell you that, Alice, a very special dish will be served.
Oh, yes, this is true. Tom has gotten the okay from Julie and Phil to bring his chili.
A crock pot full of chili.
Now, Tom's chili is not for the faint of heart.
No.
In fact, in our household, Tom's the only person who is able to eat it.
That is correct. Not too many people. 1 out of 10.
And I eat fairly spicy food. Our son James eats fairly spicy food. This is not... I don't eat this because I do not find it to be an enjoyable experience to spend the next 48 hours in the bathroom. Like, I just don't.
Alice, there are a lot of ground peppers in there. So I don't like putting insanity sauce in anything.
Throwing like habaneros and
that's the kind of thing that's in there.
Chili peppers in the blender and then chucking it all in.
It should be a very unpleasant experience. The chili.
It's supposed to hurt. No, but you like it, and people who really like really spicy do like it.
Yeah.
They swear by it. You put a ton of like really good quality meat in there. Yeah. The one time you screwed up was you put in like pork belly instead of other meat. And that was like too fatty, and it turned the oil into like emulsified into this like hot oil.
Yeah,
the whole chili was just a hot oil and not a chili.
And the problem with that is that the moment it got into your mouth, it was burning your trachea and esophagus, and it would sneak through into your stomach because it was so sinewy and so tiny. It was like that was weapons grade. That was the only time I said I can't. This is no good. But it'll be good. The chili will be good. All right, Allison.
So it's in Attleboro, Julie and Phil's. For details, email burnbarrelpodcast@gmail.com and we'll send you the details. There's still space left, but we are asking for RSVPs in advance. So send in your email now, July 19, July 20.
All right, Albie, where do you want to start here today? Do you want to start with, there's this murder in Minnesota.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, weird. This guy shot 2 politicians,
and their spouses.
Yeah, and killed one woman politician and her husband. And then another guy shot, and they're not in great condition either. This guy apparently was going to take off with his wife. He's some sort of...
Yeah, they apprehended his wife with like a bunch of cash and passports and stuff.
Bizarre dude, creepy dude. There's this Ring video where you can see the guy's... He's wearing a mask. He was dressed up as a cop. He had a souped up cop car there. Just this murderous weirdo. and he's on the run. Somehow this guy got away.
Yeah, they
Right?
haven't. Well, so people are now saying there was a big police presence today. They have found his vehicle, and people in that area are saying they heard a single gunshot earlier in the day. So he may have offed himself somewhere, and they're going to find him. I mean, I don't think it's great that these people get away so that they can't like explain what their deal was. This is definitely one that's going to attract a lot of
and weird, like they're both
conspiracy
affiliated
attention.
somehow with Tim Walsh, but the guy seems to be a Christian.
Reporter Tom Hauser, and Tom has new information from multiple law enforcement sources about Belter's wife being detained today, Tom.
Yeah, I've been working the phones for several hours, as you know, trying to track this down while we were all covering the manhunt here in the Twin Cities this morning. Sources tonight tell me the case was also taking a turn about 90 minutes to the north near Onamia in Mille Lacs County. Multiple law enforcement sources with direct knowledge of what happened tell 5 Eyewitness News there was a traffic stop at a convenience store near Onamia. Between 10 and 11 a.m. this morning, law enforcement made a traffic stop involving a vehicle carrying several relatives of Vance Belter, including his wife. We have talked to an eyewitness who says about a dozen law enforcement squads converged on the vehicle and remained on the scene for 2 to 3 hours. We are also told by several of our sources the vehicle contained.
It's crazy. So his wife and was somebody kids too.
She must have been an accomplice in this whole
Well,
thing.
there's no doubt about that. But like, I mean, like, what an operation! These people are going to recon somewhere, or sorry, recon. What does that mean? Reconnoiter somewhere, whatever it is. It's just weird. It's weird.
I mean, it is looking like there's been a lot of competing information about the guy as it's started to shake out. It seems like if you're going to put him on the ideological spectrum, because a lot of these people are just purely crazy, but this guy probably seems to fall on the right of the ideological spectrum. The people he murdered are both Democrat, or murdered one, shot the other, who's still in the hospital. They're Democrats. And he did seemingly have no King's flyers in his car, which immediately led some conservatives to be like, oh my God, see, it's a Democrat, which I don't know. I try and always hold back on this stuff because the people who commit things like this tend to be pretty weird ideologically. So it's very tough to immediately jump to like, he's a MAGA person, he's a this, he's a that. Like it's hard to, because people who do stuff like this tend to be oddballs, right? Mm-hmm. So he's so strange. So he went from being the manager of a 7-Eleven to having his own security NGO in the Congo.
It's weird.
And he is a pastor there, and he's talking about it. He's very clearly, there's videos of him out here being like a pastor in the Congo with people translating for him and stuff. He's very clearly anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-abortion. Apparently, like, his manifesto and his list of people that he wanted to murder were all like pro-abortion people, and it included a bunch of like Planned Parenthood stuff. So seemingly that could have been a big motivating issue for him. He also, though, he was appointed to a board at one point by Tim Walz, and his wife interned at one point for Tim Walz, which is what people are kind of going back to. But, you know, it's hard to pin somebody ideologically just because they get appointed to the, like, you know, whatever it was, the Workforce Development Board in Minnesota or something. Like, people appoint all kinds of people to these various volunteer position things. Sure. And it's hard to like say, oh, so he must have been a big Tim Walz fan. Like, I don't necessarily think that's true in this case. We'll find out more. So his thing.
Yes. So
his
if you're
NGO in the Congo was not apparently working out, and he was back here running a security company with his wife, which is how he had access to all this police stuff to fake the police vehicle and everything, including, like you said, wearing this rubber mask over his head and super creepy stuff. He's like Mr. Master of Disguise here in a cowboy hat and like looking fatter in some other suit and whatever. Creepy dude. But he seemingly, it appears to me that he thought he could get away with this with his like disguises and his stuff. which is crazy to me because we're in 2025 and you can't just like go to people's houses and start shooting them. But it was interesting listening. I only listened to a bit of the Sunday shows, but I do think it frightens politicians a lot. Like this idea of how vulnerable they are and their families
that was
they are.
the big theme. Right. If half of it was these female anchors like Margaret Brennan and Kristen, what's her name? Kristen Wallace, what's her name?
Welker?
Kristen Welker, yeah. And like Dana Bash being like trying to empathize with lawmakers from Minnesota, which I thought was terrible journalism. We're so sorry what you're going through, and our hearts are with. Shut up, people! What are you doing? Like, stop being. This is why chicks should not have this job. Just do the show, okay? You were a reporter. You know, you've done murders before. It's like. It bothered me. It was just do the thing. But yeah, is that but people felt unsafe, which is another way to slowly make it to. And yes, and we're hearing some of the harsh rhetoric coming, creating a climate of violence, and including coming from the White House. It's like, okay, here you go. That's what you wanted to do the whole time.
Well, right. And they all just waited. And, you know, Splash in the chat said the break in our country is so insane. People don't mourn over two innocent people dying, but rather if the cause was right-wing or left-wing violence, right? They wanted to know if it was a Luigi or a bad guy, right? Because they wanted to know right away if we were supposed to empathize with the killer or
does he have it coming? In the same way with there's this there's been, you know, pro-Palestine rallies happening. And
pro-Iran now. We're apparently...
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. You stepped on it.
Sorry.
But it's okay.
I apologize.
That's right. The water pumps in Iran so far, the two that would build up to something. You're sitting there waiting in the end zone in a lounge chair. But yes, they've gone pro-Iran. I mean, this is not... It is interesting because you look back and these people would judge, you know, the Colosseum having... lions, you know, maim slaves for a shekel or whatever it was. But these people are a spectator sport. This murder is for the spectator sport, and they don't care. I mean, that's why you see the unhinged people at the Antifa people over the weekend just screaming and in your face and saying, like, shut up, get out of here, shut up. What are you even doing? The same kind of people who are stopping traffic, and then when you try to touch them, say, no, why? You don't understand. This is more important than what you're doing. Your commute. This is more important than your commute. They think they're on this vision. They're on this quest, and they think it's in their head. They're not really part of it, but they're being performative as if they are part of something here. It is amazing, and I don't know like what it really means. It's just. People have lost meaning. Is that it? And so I'm going to go in Boston Common. Like there's all this stuff in Boston Common. There was because it's Pride year or whatever. And so Boston Common, where there's just this guy's sidewalk. He's a sidewalk.
Sidewalk Steve is what you were telling me.
Yeah, Sidewalk Steve. In this group that he's with, these people are awesome. Are going and debating people about the trans stuff, and some of these trans people just have like. They are convinced I'm going out here because we're saving lives, because if we don't pretend along with these kids, then they're going to kill themselves. And these people were various levels of crazy. Some were like okay. Some were just absolutely violent and out of their minds. But they are in an absolute, they're convinced that even though they know what they're doing is not scientific, but they believe that they're saving lives, and it's all about the main character hero syndrome thing.
Right.
Where I'm going to be something incredible. Look how incredible I'm being, and not even for me.
So a lot of trans kids or queer kids, but I'm going to mainly focus on trans kids because, you know, the obvious. A lot of them have a higher risk of suicidal thoughts than, you know, other kids. What if these gender-affirming surgeries or care, HRT, stuff like that, would help them, would make them feel better about themselves, make them not want to kill themselves?
So I hear you. I hear this a lot, and I see where you're coming from. That's a good question. So one of the things we see is if you control for other underlying mental health disorders, because I'm sure we've both seen, you're in my generation, I'm sure you know lots of trans people. I grew up a lot of trans people. I believed I was trans myself for a number of years. I socially transitioned, all of that.
They were gay when I was young.
What?
They were even gay.
Yeah. And what we see is that a lot of them are depressed, they're anxious for all of these different reasons. What we also see is that if we control for depression, anxiety, PTSD, autism, any other thing that might be happening, the rate of completed suicide between trans-identified kids and kids who have these mental health disorders is about the same.
So that guy's name is Simon Amaya Price, and he's part of this group of these people.
So for kids, I think it's different for adults, for sure. But for kids, we don't really see that disparity in completed.
They did a very good job. Now, some people just were nuts and had no time. Here's another woman here.
I think it's really weird that on Pride weekend you're coming here and
this is an NIH study that found that gender-affirming care lowers suicide rates.
Is it Chen?
No, this is an NIH study.
I was just wondering who the authors toured off. 2022, right?
They are in fact that. Yeah, this is the first one I came to.
Then why did Chase Strangio, in the most important case of her life,
doesn't matter.
Hang on. She's trying to defend the right to shut down bans on gender-affirming care for children. Why couldn't she say that it saves lives?
I don't know. Study is there. The Justice will debunk me of every single one of them, and that one's famous. I think it's like based on just surveys on the internet where they encourage people who are already following them to.
I'm sorry, I haven't found any of the unhinged ones as yet. These people are. It was a refreshing. Some of them refreshingly reasonable. Hold on. I had a good one earlier. Here's who.
Why would you want to isolate them from all the LGBT?
You don't want to isolate them.
What do you want to do?
We want them to not get put up in drugs because they're different.
What if they want to?
Well, they're only kids. They can't consent.
They can't consent. They don't know what they're consenting to.
Excuse me, I know people from the age of 2 that know what they want to be.
So
that's a problem. That's Boston over this weekend.
Where's the one you played earlier where they were saying, like, if a kid wants to be Elsa, then you know that he's a trans or whatever.
Okay, let me find it.
Because this boggles my mind because it's funny in a weird sort of way. They're like more gender essentialist than anybody else. They're like, oh, well, if the boy plays with dolls, you just gotta chop his dick off. Like, here we go. This is it.
What do you think of their signs? Would you like to talk on camera about it?
You know what? I would be happy to talk on camera about it. I am a little confused. Okay. Mostly because I don't actually know what your side, what the support is.
Okay, would you like to talk about it?
I would be happy to learn.
Right. So right now in our
The signs read, "Stop transing gay kids."
society, kids who are gender non-conforming, for example, boys who like princess dolls and girls who like trucks, they're encouraged to think about their gender identity and think about whether they might be the opposite sex. And
okay, and you're against that?
Well, they're not the opposite sex. They are the sex that they were born with, and it's not possible to change that.
Oh, it's not possible to change it?
No, it's not.
I don't know. I think I did a good job of that.
You think you changed
It's a guy in a dress, if you don't know.
sex?
No, I think I changed my gender. I'm making a joke. I get the point you're making. So, if gender is a social construct. Let me feed into the points that I know you're going to make. Go for it. Gender is a social construct.
Okay, so you think you changed the social construct?
No, I think I changed my own positioning within a social construct.
Okay, and how do you think you did that using drugs?
No, I think I did that socially. I think I did use drugs to change my own perception of myself and my physical appearance in a way that we do with a lot of different things. And I think I've used my clothing to change myself. But to be fair, I feel like the most important thing I did was the social aspect.
But do you... Okay, I mean, I think it's fine for people to change their clothing and to change their hair. Like, I'm totally cool with that.
Is there a problem with me using a different set of pronouns?
Well, I mean, I think that when you say using, you refer to yourself, I assume, as I?
Sure.
So when you say using different pronouns, you mean you ask people to use a certain other...
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so it's pronouns different from the ones you're born with.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to make that request to people, I think that's fine. Like, I'm not going to get in the way of you telling people that you prefer a certain set of pronouns.
Okay.
I don't think that young children should be encouraged. You know, like if a 4 or 5 year old is like, you know, it's a boy, but they want to be called a girl. I think that a grown up should not say, okay, then we'll use the girl pronouns for you. That's where I think maybe you and I have a difference. I don't know. But
So that's actually really interesting because I have a couple of places where I know a lot about that. I have a cousin right now who's around 6 or 7 and who wears skirts and dresses because he wants to be Princess Elsa because he saw Frozen. And you know what? He can do that. Yeah. I'm sitting here, I'm not going to tell him to consider his gender. At a certain point, I might see signs and I might say, okay, this might be a thing you want to think about. But at a certain extent, he can be a dude wearing a skirt. Sure. That is allowed. He can also later.
That's the point, right? Is that the left like doesn't want that actually.
Right.
They don't want kids who like play dress up and goof around and have fun and do kid stuff. And like we have dress up bins that are full of stuff in our house and like various kids, mostly boys, but they're full of like Sally's old dance costumes and like whatever. And you know, sometimes they goof around, they're putting on plays, they're doing this, and like occasionally they're doing like boy dressed as a girl bits, right? Like
Yes.
which is a thing. It's been a thing. Even like when I was in high school, people did this. We had a thing where we had to put on a play for the class that was like acting out I forgot. It was like we had to act out a Chinese legend or something, and like somebody did a bit where they like.
What did that sound like, Alice?
It was a dude pretending to be a girl in the thing. Like one of the guys in the class like brought balloons and like pretended to do a drag thing, and like I mean, this is a thing people do is they have fun with this stuff and they goof around and they dress up, or like boys who like playing with dolls or like playing with a dollhouse or like doing little things. It's not, but never once was it ever suggested to any of these people that I grew up with or like any of my kids certainly that like you needed to freaking cut your dick off and like start a new life. I'm sorry to be inappropriate, but it's like, why? Why is that these people's like first concern? You know what? You seem like a person who would like to chemically sterilize yourself and never have kids and completely ruin your body and any chance you have at a normal life.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that to a kid? Because they friggin' sing along with Elsa?
Well, right.
I mean, that's nuts.
And
That's
by the way, this
crazy.
group is called that woman was part of LGB Courage Coalition. So LGB advocacy group, evidence-based medicine into LGB rights. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, which should be totally untethered from the other stuff. Totally.
Well, and yeah, and the feeling is among a lot of like gay and lesbian people, more traditional ones, that the trans movement is trying to fix gay kids by making them into the opposite sex, which is something that, you know, Iran has been doing for decades now, which is that it's illegal to be gay in Iran. So if you like the opposite sex, they forcibly transition you into a fake version of the opposite.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing in Iran. And,
Do we have
and
to
like,
get Iran flags for the yard or not?
I don't know. But progressives used to use it. It's like, even Iran like supports gender affirming care. And
Not from what I've seen.
But it's not gender affirming care. It's like, oh, you're a dude who likes guys. Well, we're just gonna make you pretend to be a girl now. Then like,
Yeah,
now
well,
we fixed it.
The conversion therapy that I saw involved a roof that I've seen. By the way, it's Sidewalk Steve on Twitter who's documented a bunch of this stuff for this group, who did a great job over the weekend. They weren't antagonistic, they weren't jerks, but they ran into one of these, and you're seeing a lot of these during the No Kings protests. These tough guy dudes. This guy is I think probably a trans dude or really a girl. He's not or she's not like what they're supposed to be. And holding a umbrella. This is the lowest of the lowest. On my Twitter, I just found another guy. They carry these umbrellas and open them, and if you're filming them, whatever, they'll use the umbrella as kind of a weapon against you, and it blocks you. It's the prescribed weapon of the day for like these groups. Like, make sure you have, like, fasten umbrellas forward march, and like it's so freaking. Oh, it's so weak. It's pathetic.
Yeah, they think they're like a Roman phalanx or
And then
phalanx
one
or
of the
whatever.
guys like was lunging at somebody with an
like,
umbrella, and I thought like that you were such a ridiculous pussy. There's a certain kind of person, and I think if you're from Generation X or older, is that there's a certain kind of person, a certain way to protest where the only pure thought in your mind is that person needs a freaking beating badly. Or with the umbrella thing, my idea would be like 25 pit bulls. Some people, for their own good, need to be mauled.
Speaking of which, were you pleased by the Egypt stuff over the weekend?
What
the march on Gaza.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But here's the guy with the girl, whatever, this miserable person, all in black in Boston, from Sidewalk Steve, with his umbrella in everybody's face and giving the finger. He's spinning the umbrella and giving the finger.
Gender nonconforming is natural, and those kids should not be giving drugs. Gender nonconforming.
He is spinning his umbrella, or she is, and giving while the LGBT courage people are chanting, he's spinning his umbrella and holding the middle finger up.
It's natural, and some of that means that some people are trans. Very dangerous fraud.
He's still spinning his umbrella.
Castrate sex offenders. There are cognitive impairment caused by puberty blockers proven in animal studies, but they refuse to study it anymore. Those girls are being injected with anabolic steroids.
The transdued person is just spinning the umbrella. You can't have a world where that's okay. It was just like with Occupy Boston when they'd go, mic check, mic check. Oh, and there's another thing.
United.
Here's another thing. If you walk around and you have your Antifa thing, and the back of it you have Scotch tape that says, or whatever tape that says medic. You're part of the medical corps. You need to be fed into a volcano. I'm sorry, man. These people are just absolutely ridiculous. But yes, in Egypt, that was good news.
So all these people from the West, I think mostly not the United States, but like certainly Canada and Europe, a bunch of these idiots that are Greta Thunberg fans or whatever they are, when they have this idea in their head that there's a genocide happening in Gaza and that, the border with Egypt is being blocked. So they're going to, quote, march on Gaza. This was the global march on Gaza. They were going to go open the border with Egypt and
have
march
them
on
flood
Gaza
into Egypt.
and
They're fellow
help
Muslims.
the poor Gazans who are so put upon. They're starving children and being genocided and all this stuff. They're going to go help them. They're literally going to just go march on Gaza. And the Egyptian authorities had no time.
No, here's a white Irish guy with a bowl haircut who's trying to enlighten them.
Literally,
where
a
is your heart?
Jack haircut.
I believe that the people of the Arabic nations have a white heart. I believe you are good people. They are starving children. I tried to feed these children and they shot at me.
Tried to feed these children and they shot at me. It's the same thing with the people who block traffic. No, I know you think you need to be somewhere late. You think you need to be at work, but this is bigger than that. Don't you see? Mm-hmm. This is bigger than that.
For love, for humanity, for Islam. Stand with your Islamic peoples. Please stand with your Islamic brothers and sisters.
These military guys, the Egyptian cops,
they're just like standing there. They're like
in front of all
the like walls and barbed wire and stuff they have between them and Gaza on purpose for a reason.
They're just waiting to hear the order to just shoot this guy. So somebody can draw his weapon and blow the guy away.
A bunch of these idiots into buses and deported them, which is freaking hilarious.
And they're crying and screaming. It is great.
Welcomed me into their heart. I paid to go there as a nurse. They beat me in the desert for feeding starving Islamic children.
Why? Should it feel good to hear him say they beat me in the desert?
Where is your calm? Where is your heart? For the love of life and for the love of humanity. They're babies and women. The women are trying to feed their dying babies and their breasts are empty. Do you know what that smells like? Do you know what that sounds like? For humanity and for love, stand with your brothers and sisters in Palestine. I have never seen or experienced anything like it. Please, I will beg you.
I've been
allow us to march to Palestine.
What a fucking freak! I'm sorry for swearing. I
Please,
apologize.
you've got to
The
listen
most
to me.
insane thing. Do you know what that smells like? What's wrong with people?
Never thinking ever, because in his circles and where at his college, with his friends at his coffee houses during his pride events, everybody feels this way.
They all agree with it.
So we can enlighten you two Egyptians about. We've come all the way from Ireland, from Belfast, down here to tell you what's going on down here, because you wouldn't know, because you're down. We would know. We're enlightened. We all went to college. We know the reality of the situation. So we're trying to explain to you. These are your Muslim brothers. Have you not
Do you know what Palestinian breasts smell like?
Yeah. So these Egyptians are very familiar with these people in Gaza, and that is why there's a wall. It's amazing. Oh, it's too good.
Yeah, and if you want, they rounded these people up. They were not gentle. They grabbed them all. There's plenty. If you just search March on Gaza on Twitter, there's plenty of footage of them all freaking crying about their efforts down there and whatever. It's unreal. It's unreal. They really believe this stuff.
But yeah, and also at the same time, they beat me in the desert. You're in the desert.
Where do you want them to beat you?
Yeah, this is where you were an a-hole and needed to be stopped. You came to the desert. You got in their business. They know what they're doing. Freaking beat me in the desert. I would tell you what. If these were the days of the collect calls and he said, I'm an Irishman who's trying to get into Gaza. Will you accept the charges? No, thank you. Their breasts are empty. Do you know what that smells like? Will you accept the charges? No, thank you. They beat me in the desert. Will you accept the charges? Yes. Absolutely. I'm ready
to hear more about this.
Yes. It's a video of the beating. So I can get this atrocity for the world to see. Because the world needs to see. But that, and along with with the spinning umbrella, it's. I'm sorry, Alice. This is part of the problem. It's so Tim Walzian. It is. It's so freaking.
Well, it doesn't help that this guy has an actual Simple Jack haircut.
Yeah, he did.
So embarrassing. Why? There's no excuse.
Still good. All right. Okay. Now, do you want to do? You want to go on a racist rant?
I think we should go do the chat.
I know you wanted to do a racist creed.
A racist creed. You mean I wanted to talk about Michael Jackson and stuff?
Yes.
And how he's really talented? Yes. That part? Okay. Yes. So I think we should do that in the Patreon, because we have to, hit the chat and then jump and do a Patreon show. We have a lot of new patrons.
Wow,
who are
a lot of
awesome.
chat chats. Oof.
We have a lot of chat chats, a lot of patrons, a lot of stuff to do. I want to talk about that. I do want to talk about Sabrina Carpenter, because, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. We did not talk about Sabrina Carpenter on the show. I think we only talked about it offline, you and I talked about it.
It feels like we were downstairs.
I think we were downstairs.
Yeah.
But if we already covered Sabrina Carpenter,
well, we have to do your racist
delusional.
rant, and then you wanted to talk about You've Got Mail, too.
Oh, and You've Got Mail. Yes. We rewatched, we introduced our kids.
Because I'm an alpha male who's tough.
Yeah, we rewatched / introduced our older kids to You've Got Mail last night, which was, I haven't seen in over 20 years, but I thought was great.
It actually is a more important movie now than it was.
Yeah, it was fascinating. It was like the 1998 version of Black Mirror, sort of.
You stop using that.
I don't know
what that is.
Other people know what
Nobody
Black
knows
Mirror
what that is.
Yeah, other people
Nobody
do.
knows. This is a big chat, bro.
Okay, well, let's head to the chat, and then we'll cover some of this other stuff in the Patreon show. If you want to join the Patreon show, that's patreon.com/burnbarrel. If you want to join that.
Guess how many gigs out of 50 gigs?
Trish says we didn't talk about Sabrina Carpenter.
Guess how many gigs out of 50 gigs have we used?
On what? On Chat?
Mm-hmm.
Like ever?
Yeah. Tommy in New Hampshire. He's the most tech-savvy guy, right? Is Tommy
I'm
watching?
trying to think how big audio files
Is Tommy there or no?
I mean...
Is Tommy there or no?
I don't think Tommy's in here.
Okay.
Trish isn't here. Julian, Phil, Splash. I don't see Tommy.
I know Splash does. Maybe Splash is a tech guy. Tim might
out
know.
of 50 gigs.
This is really not important, so just say it's something else.
36.
It is incorrect. 1.4 gigs.
Okay, that's nothing.
That's nothing.
Wow.
Moving right along. There's some first-time chat chatters.
Okay, great. I bring it on. Let's go chat chatters.
First off,
Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Huge congrats to Sally and by virtue the rest of the family because this will lighten the load as far as expenses are concerned. But congrats to her for getting into the Frank Leroy Academy or whatever it's called. That's
Lord Fauntleroy.
Lord Fauntleroy Academy. Yep.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. How did he said it'll lighten the load?
Well, I think he's thinking like she'll make good money when she's an adult.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, she'll be the first non-destitute of my offspring. Maybe the last. Or of my father's offspring, actually.
Phenomenal accomplishment. And
I must say, Tim, that I had no idea. I had no idea that her grades were that. I thought that I knew she was honor roll, so I figured that she got mostly A's. I didn't realize that her grades are like really that good. I also didn't think she was
on high honors every quarter of 7th and 8th grade.
But that's a dutiful girl thing. And I was like, I didn't think that she's like that. Is she that smart? Sally.
She scored in the 89th percentile on the SSAT.
She can't use a telephone. I mean, she can't call down to room service.
Well, she doesn't have to.
nothing better than hearing Tom describe what he thought was going to be, like getting your button in the mob. Like when, I think it was Goodfellas, when Joe Pesci walks in the room thinking he's going to be a made man. Tom going into that event thinking that he's finally going to rub his freaking sharp elbows with the fellow Brahmins only to learn he's the actual help.
How dare you?
Oh, you prods. You're all the same. Have fun cleaning the dishes.
How dare you? That is incorrect. I'm an elite now. I'm an elite. Oh, Alice, we're doing it. I'm getting lawn signs. I'm doing LGBTQIA stuff. I'm going to learn to say all 36 letters and reel them off as if it's totally natural. Okay. I'm going to start, by the way, in Attleboro at Phil's. I am going to be.
You're going elite there?
I'm taking on, is it taking on airs?
Putting on airs.
I'm putting on airs. Big time.
Okay.
Nantucket pants.
You're shopping all at Vineyard Vines now?
Yes. I'm going to be a total dick.
For somebody who's unemployed, you sure?
Doesn't matter.
You sure make a lot of pronouncements.
Tom, Alice, hey. I can't believe it, but I'm actually agreeing with Billy.
What?
My message to you sounded like I was on cat tranquilizers or something. So I'll try to do better in the future.
Oh,
and Billy, just so you know, the moniker was only because that's what WTIC called me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I upset you.
Wow.
I will try to do better in the future.
Yeah, don't. Tom from Thomaston, right? Please don't bow to the dark Sith Lord who is Billy from Manchester, who's really Steve from Gloucester's brother, Tim.
Though I don't think my prose will be as poetic as yours, but I will certainly try to do my best because we all turn in to listen to Billy's Burn Barrel.
Ooh.
40 seconds.
Out. Nicely done.
You know what this means, though? This means that Tom from Thomaston has learned how to listen to podcasts.
That's right. He's now a podcast guy, and that is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
There may be more of those, Alice, coming.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey,
I
Billy.
just want to wish Tom a happy Father's Day
Thank you.
for his 13, 14 kids, whatever he's got. But anyway, I'm not a show hater. I love all the podcasts. I think Alice just needs to, kind of yap it down a little bit and stop it.
Correct. And stop interrupting. That's right, which she's done twice.
Which I did right now.
Oh, my goodness. Jesus, woman. You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to make you wear one of those electrodes. So I can hit you with.
Me?
Yeah. Oh, that would be kind of Was it possible that would be sexy?
I thought you were gonna say like some kind of math.
Or cattle prod. Or if I can get a really, really low charge taser, how great would that be? Step in my freak wind ups. All out of water pump. Okay, I'm just starting to set it up. I'm just laying bricks, Alice.
All
now,
of a sudden, the video sees my skeleton in the
oh, how fantastic. Oh, God. Alice, you realize that we'd probably get a lot more listeners. Think about that. Think about it, Alice. A light charge? It's a little bit more than like a 9-volt battery, but less than a car battery. We're doing that. We're doing that.
Interrupting. Other than that, I love the show. I contribute. I'm probably the biggest contributor. I mean, to be honest with you, Stephen Merrimack is probably the only other one. Gloucester's gone. I don't know where he is. Tim, not from Canton, is just. I mean, it's pathetic. He's mailing it in as well.
Oh, how dare he! Steve from Gloucester, we do need you back. He does text here and there.
He's really busy playing basketball.
He's doing a
like
great job.
Star.
He's doing a great job. They've got another game now. They're going to have a rematch.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job. All those guys, I really, Steve, that is great. That's great.
I love them both, but I mean, they got to step up a little bit. But I'm trying to add a little bit of humor and levity.
Well done, Billy. I'm all for it. I'm a Billy guy, by the way. Billy guy, except when you talk about my mouth noises. In case I'm not a Billy guy.
These horrible shows sometimes, but
yep.
I mean, I'm just trying to do what I got to do just to try to make these shows better. I love all three of them.
Thank you.
All the mail-in podcasts, the No More Shots of Shattuck, and the Burn Barrel featuring Alice, or not featuring Alice, hopefully at some time. But love the show.
Thank you, Billy.
Father's Day by under 1 minute.
It was 59 seconds.
Wow. Yeah.
Now I'm starting to think.
I love a shot of
What
Shattuck.
do we think Billy does?
I don't know. He lives in Florida now.
Okay. So he lives in Florida now. What does he do? Is he a manual labor guy, service industry guy, upper management, honcho kind of guy?
I don't know. I need to think on it.
Are you drunk?
I don't know. I need to think on it. I'm not drunk.
All right,
You're drunk.
Billy. You are. You are. I'm going to guess that Billy is half owner of a aluminum siding company.
I disagree.
Okay.
I haven't decided yet what I think Billy does, but I don't think it's that.
Patty from Manchester.
Okay.
Hi, Patty Angelino from Manchester.
Hey, Patty.
Tom, you are a fraud. You are complaining about the looting in L.A.
Yes.
And yet, given the opportunity, I can completely see you looting a liquor store and running out with cases of delicious banana Happy Dad.
Okay. Patty Angelino from Manchester.
Who's definitely not also Billy from Manchester.
It's not. You think that's Billy?
Could be.
I can tell you that today
Is it Manchester, Connecticut, you think, or New Hampshire, or Massachusetts?
I don't know. There's no way to tell us. I will tell you this. Would I loot? If there was looting, would I go
You almost looted a Home Depot today.
These are missed opportunities.
You were this close.
These are missed opportunities also. It's going to happen. And I almost Skyped that screwdriver too as well. That was easily rationalized because we spent, $400 on the grill. So I'm like, if I just take this screwdriver, then I can go with the whole, okay, that's fine. You want to get me for the screwdrivers? Well, then take the grill back too. You see?
Mm-hmm.
See?
Smart. Yeah,
thank you.
Smart.
Hold on. Right, come back to you, Patty.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're not. If there was looting going on,
and
already,
you were in the crowd.
I mean,
pouring into the store. Would you take the sneakers? Yes.
They have insurance, Alice.
Also,
yes.
Who is Billy from Manchester anyway? Is he some sort of a Kirk Minahan wannabe? We need to figure out who this character is.
No, I think he knows him. I think they're in cahoots.
Thanks. 38 seconds.
Kind of sounds like him, but just on a different type of audio.
Yeah, clean up the accent too. I don't know, but Billy does seem to be kind of KMS, but I don't know. It's tough to tell. It's tough to tell. Although I wouldn't. I hope some of those fellas those bros who were there from KMS, the KMS guys, who are Burn Barrel guys as well. Love to see them in Attleboro. Good dudes. Ready else?
I'm ready.
We didn't play. We have a voicemail for the food show. We didn't play it. We have a new food show.
We have to do another food show. There's a food show out. We have to do another one. We didn't even talk about Reds, really, on it.
Yeah, we will. We'll have to. We'll do that.
I took my niece to a class on the South Coast, and we drove through Rochester, and there were 4 old women standing on a corner waving at cars driving by with handmade signs saying "No Kings." And I thought, boomers, man, you can always rely on them. And then I get to my dad's house tonight. He's 90, and he's got the parade on, and he's telling me all about how he wished they had uniforms from the Army from way back, like World War I uniforms, etc.
Yeah.
And I just thought, man, that's the 10-year gap. That's what happens between, growing up during World War II and being born afterward.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was totally amazing. There will be no more kinks.
I didn't get that last thing. Do you know what that was?
Sounded like you said there will be no more kings in a German accent.
Oh, okay. I thought you said kinks. So I'm like,
we're going sexual now.
Yeah. But yeah, give our best to your dad. I think they did. And I love that we didn't watch that parade live, but had we watched it, we were running around. I guarantee you we would have gotten emotional. Maybe we'll get buzzed tonight, Alice, and watch some of the parade.
Watch some parade.
Wouldn't you?
I probably would, yeah.
But I know that they had some period uniforms. I know like a bunch of the Army guys, I think, were dressed in Vietnam fatigues. I think that's all awesome. I think the parade is awesome. I know that we could use the whoever $1 million better somewhere else. I think it's great promotion. And
yeah, but like somebody said on Twitter, like I think it's okay for us to have a military parade once every 40 years. Right? Well, like for the 250th anniversary of us creating a United States Army.
We paid for these jets, Alice. I want to see them flying around. Like we're in Massachusetts. South Coast, by the way, Rochester, I believe is where I got my, it's the longest drive I've ever had. It took 6 hours and 18 minutes. I believe that's where I got my, at a crossroads, where I got my parking meter lamp.
Very
Rochester.
Nice.
Which isn't featured in the show anymore.
It's downstairs.
I know. Someday we'll fix that lamp part of it. It's a great item, though. Great item. Thoughts, Alice?
Everyone loves it. Everyone loves your parking meter bit.
Are we divorced?
Do you want to know?
No. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
Shouldn't have made fun of Ernie from Ernestine. I apologize.
Tom from Thomaston.
Oh, I see.
Ernie
Because
from
Patty Angelino from Manchester was there too. A lot of bits going on, Alice. I don't know what's happening.
Keep up with all the bits.
I don't know what's going on.
So I become friends with school shooters. Yeah,
Tim Balls.
I become friends with school shooters.
Remember that?
With school shooters. So I become friends with school shooters. So I become friends with school shooters.
Bit, Alice.
So I become friends with school shooters. So I become friends with school shooters. I become friends with school shooters. So I become friends with school shooters. So I become friends with school shooters.
We don't get too many produced bits. Nicely done.
Thank you so much for listening. If you would like to stay, we're staying for Patreon. You can do that at patreon.com/burnbarrel. You can find that and some extra content each week at patreon.com/burnbarrel. There's also burnbarrelpodcast.com. That's where you can leave chat messages. That's where you can find links to the different places to listen. We are planning to also put up links there to the Shattuck show and the food podcast, the All You Can Eat. So we will see you later.
C'est La Vie.